What's up, team? Welcome to my humble abode. So, anyways, the floor hand just walked in and to the MWD shack and said we're ready to pick up tools. So, I was going to give you guys a little view of what's going on here. So, what I missed is that back over there's a pipe rack where all the tools are loaded in their carrier, and they've already grabbed one, so I missed that. But I'm walking over here to the pipe wrangler as they're placing components on the pipe wrangler here, and looks like right now they have a and there's the important tool right there, and there's the mud motor, of course. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the rig floor. I can just imagine the roasting I'm gonna take for having a selfie stick on a drilling rig. So stand by. We are definitely around 25 Fahrenheit wind chill right now, so hence why I'm so bundled up. All right, see you in a little bit. So came back down here to the kit box to grab a stave and my tablet. I think I got the guys talked into when we're gonna get the or we pick the tool up in the carrier, we'll plug into it one last time, or push the stave over the spear point, and we're gonna talk to it one last time for good measure before we start to do our surface test. So we're confident in that everything was functioning fine one last time. And just since we're on the record, oh, by the way, I got the stave and tablet walking up to the rig floor. Kids, don't try this at home. Walking up to a rig floor recording on almost any other drilling rig is a firm way to solidify a full-on drill sergeant military style ass chewing. But these guys at Crown Quest have been really understanding and helpful, so that's what's enabling me to do this. So I will just make sure that I'm mindful of my surroundings and not going to cause a risk to me or anybody else if I do any more recording up here. So there she blows. Mr. Mike Richardson, pro coordinator, helping out. We got the non-mag stabilizer coming. For show, getting a picture. There's the tools. Sorry, we're about to pick up the non-mag stabilizer there. We got the mud motor over the hole, so stand by. Hey, these boys from Canada do not mess around. I mean, only half of them are working, and this is the fastest BHA yet. Hair slick back, just giving her. Okay, we might edit that one out. Cool, so we got this stabilizer. They say it's non-mag. I think they're just tricking us and it's just painted. I'm half joking, but I see we got her up in the derrick here. And see, look, Zach, I'm practicing that, what were you talking about? Mirroring. Tone mirroring. I'm saying, I'm talking like a Canadian now, hey. So yeah, after this we're gonna bring it down and we may just plug into it. So that is those jaws right there are how they are applying torque to the joints, if you will, the tool joints. So this one in particular is pretty fancy. It's controlled by the inside, and they have a gauge indicator. They're going to make the BHA up to, it's the same thread type, they make it up to the same amount of torque. So he looks like he's controlling that setting inside.
Says it's always off driller's side. Always, always. That will not be any other way.
Walking right.
Yep. You will not let me hang my tool.
So right now they're taking the bushings out here. They have to do that in order to make clearance for this this stabilizer. The outside diameter of that component would be larger than the ID of those bushings when they're inside the rotary table, as they call it. So we're going to lower her down in. Nice and slowly. Sorry, I'm not getting a good view. I'm just standing out of the way here, so I'm not in a dangerous situation. So they got it through the table. They're going to lower these bushings down in. The bushings being in are necessary for them to set what they call their slips. You'll see that process here in a sec. In fact, I'll be right back when I float my camera.
All that dope on that cable. Can't wait to clean that up.
That is the air hoist, or one of the air hoist, or cover lines as they call them. Yep, so right now you can't see setting the slips. Set the collar clamps down right next to it. So you can see here they may have done a soft makeup on this, and now they're going to apply that to it. Typically, like I was saying, on most rigs here.
Hey, come look at this.
You have the joystick handles. We have an issue with that on here. Yep. So the concern there was the jaws. You can see the set screws for the BHO right there. And the link from the pin end to this box is a connection. That connection is really close to where the jaws are going to align, and the rig crew was concerned about whenever they clamp down on it, or whenever they clamp down, that it was going to match the set screw hole threads. So one thing I suggested was that these set screw holes are, though they are important, and we don't want to mash those threads. We shouldn't be removing those on location in its operationally important. So I was saying that we just go for it. If anything, it's going to hold those set screws in place, preventing them from backing out. So that's something that could be easily tapped back at the shop. But as you know, Black Diamond is in charge of making the operational calls. So they called Mr. Mike D'Artes, and he said to go for it. So that was what they did. So it was kind of funny. One of the things I suggested that they do too is make the connection face up, and then once they do that, make it up with the tongs. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. So for those of you who don't know what tongs are, they're there's two of them. There's one to hold the collar or pipe still, and then one to make up. So, but it was just funny. They're like, well, we don't know how to use those things, but these hydraulic equipment is really helpful. Makes it a lot easier on the guys. Yeah, we verified it. So this is an issue. Stayed so far. Michelle's strong, man. Give her a go if you want. Yeah, so getting that stave off was a real doozy, but yeah, so we put the stave on there to plug into the tool, make sure invert flow was off, make sure nav core was talking, and then I don't even think we're gonna get a surface test here. The conductor set to 300 foot, so it's like three stands of drill pipe, and we're basically on bottom, so not a long trip out.
Exactly centered will be their high side. We'll bring the scribe up, we'll take their high side and measure around to the scribe. Okay. Do a little formula, and then that'll give us our offset. Copy that. Yeah, they measure the distance all the way around. They measure the distance to the...
Review what's going on here. This is your rig driller, your company man. Got Mr. Rodney here from Pro D, and these are his two normal displays, which are 4152s, and he's running a Neuralis, Neuralis pressure decoder, I think, and then an EDAC, and those are his two setups, and then we have the Acura RFD set, and yeah, so basically the process would be, whenever it's time for the directional driller to steer, he would either have this man right here relinquish controls, and he would get in the seat and steer, or depending on the rig policy, he may not allow the directional driller to take control, so he would do the sliding himself. So this is scribing. They found the high side of the mud motor here, and they are going to scribe up to the bottom of the UBHO, and we are going to do our DAO, or driller's assembly offset. So again, that is to measure the distance between the high side of the motor to the high side of the tool, to offset that measurement in order to create that alignment so your tool face is showing exactly from 0 to 360 where the high side of the motor is. There, indicate where he's going to draw his line. Winch line that picks up on the top drive itself. Get a better view of that. It looks really close. So the directional driller is checking up to that light on the high side of the motor, assuming that is in line with expectations. Then he's going to draw that line there, and then we're going to do our DA basically what happens here is Mr. DD does a scribe, MWD hand, super shoulder, verifies, and company man verifies that scribe. Says, hey, yeah, we think it's in line. This is what well, I think it's in line, so let's make that mark and make that still a bit. You can see it in there. PDC bits, polycrystalline diamond carbide. It's got a little flange there that sits in the rotary table with some keys, and then that kind of acts as a, what we would call like a, I guess a backup wrench or something to keep the bit from spinning. And they're gonna put that motor on there. So you see there, they got that wand with that stuff on there. They call that pipe dope. And that's an abrasive as much as it is of a lubricant. So, anyways, we'll make sure to douse those threads with that on every connection. So there's your tongs and use I was telling you earlier about. You're going to put that on what is called the bit box. So you see them kind of locking those tongs. You're going to lower it down. Notice that that bottom gold piece spins independent of everything above it, which would be called the stator, this housing here. This is a stabilizer. It's those fins you see above. Yep, kind of the same deal, and I'm in the line of fire, so I'm going to put this on. So he's spinning this up with his backup, his rotary table. He's going to go ahead and get it tight, and then they're going to lock that rotary table in again, and he's going to torque that bit to the specifications. So about made up. He's just going for it. He's going to lock his rotary table. He's going to torque it just back here. One of two things happens here. They either put the tongs up or they get another stroke at it. And it looks like that was sufficient. Sometimes they run out of pull line, and so they have to kind of readjust and start it again. But it looks like they did it one turn. These rig hands are pretty experienced guys. You can tell they're pretty quick, and they don't appear to be putting out a lot of effort, but every step in the movement they make is very calculated, as opposed to I would say an average rig crew. Bit on there. Drop her in and so again, like something else they're doing that's showing great attention to detail. They pulled that dope from that joint. They wanted to make sure there wasn't any gap between the bit box and the face of the bit. Just kind of experience right there, right? If the threads were galled up and they weren't able to make a good connection, it could have taken the torque, but not been adequately torqued and then had lost it downhole. So what they did was pretty smart. So yeah, the next step here is the DAO measurement. So yeah, so this may or may not get some of this on video. I want to make sure that I'm involved in this process to make sure we're doing this accurately. You know, Priscilla and Roy haven't done this on the rig floor with this particular tool, so let me just jump in here.
Up there, go back. Do it again, do it again.
Show me attitude. Show me fierce.
Right in the middle of the hold on.
WD motor, right side motor, clockwise on downhole.
3.42. 3.42. 3.42. 342. Yeah. I think I got it. 805. You see?
Verify.
805.
805, 342, 805.
342. 805.
342, 805. Is that right? Hands are cold, sorry. Right there, taking our percentage. So yeah, last little deal here for the BHA, I believe that's the 30-foot Monel. That's going to give us our above spacing. That is the top of the Eclipse tool carrier. I'll be back. I think we were supposed to settle on like 9.4, right?
9.4. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. We just gotta make sure that stays there. There it is. Oh. Good enough.
Excellent. So those two long arms are called lifting bales, and that big block that lashes around there are called elevators. And the OD reduction, that piece that screws in the end, that's called a lift up. Never ceases to amaze me that I somehow get dirty every time I come to a rig floor. But yeah, so yeah, now we wait. They're making up this last piece here. Pipe spinner, and then torque her down. We go down. Typically, they would screw in right here to the top of that Monel and do a test and verify MWD's working. But due to the shallow nature of the hole right now, the conductor is set to 350 foot. So again, we will just test when we get on bottom. It's not a whole lot of risk to take when you're only having a trip 300 foot in. So overall, I would say that went pretty smooth. The criticism I'll give myself here is, you know, it seemed like the guys had a plan, and I did ask them to do that additional test on the rig floor with the tablet and the, you know, that being said, I should have discussed that with them well in advance. Probably shouldn't have put the stave on to test right there until we get some kind of extension. It was pretty difficult to get out and probably didn't look the best. These are just minor improvements, nothing major. Everybody with Crown Quest was happy, and everything was fine. Also, that running the home run cable and the E-bus cable, and have that stave kind of already set up in the doghouse. Though I did help a lot with the setup, I did not verify that they had done that. So we will. I'm sure if I hadn't mentioned this in the video, Ken would be reminding me of that. So here we are. We pull up clips real quick. So anyways, it looks like we missed sync on Eclipse. We got a full survey on Neuralis. We're drilling the shoe right now. We started to get some better pulses, but probably threshold was a little bit high, and so it was set to 400, and the standpipe pressure came up to like 500, so likely a received delay time issue, but we reported it, so we'll figure that out when Ken gets some rest and wakes up in the morning. See y'all tomorrow.
I got a 3501.
You got what? 3501? Yeah, 3501, that's right.